Hello and welcome to the Great North Gardener. If you've ever felt that gardening in a colder climate is a unique challenge, you're in the right place. Here, we embrace the nuances of our shorter seasons, helping you create a beautiful and productive garden for your home, one thoughtful step at a time. This series is your calm, comprehensive, step-by-step March checklist, specifically tailored for the realities of Canada's Zone 5. March isn't a month for frantic activity, but for mindful preparation. It's about setting the stage, so that when the real warmth arrives, you and your garden are perfectly in sync and ready to flourish. Over the next few chapters, we'll gently guide you through everything you need to consider this month. We'll explore which flowering and vegetable seeds to start indoors, and when. We'll demystify the art of pruning for health and structure. We'll talk about the unsung hero of the garden, the soil, and how to begin waking it up without causing damage. We'll also cover practical tasks like cleaning and sharpening your tools, assessing your garden structures, and even planning for water conservation and wildlife support. Think of this as your complete roadmap for a successful season, starting right now. March is a true transition month. You can feel the change in the air, a palpable shift from the deep slumber of winter to the first whispers of spring. It's a quiet tension, a promise of what's to come. The sun's a touch warmer, climbing higher in the sky each day, and the days themselves stretch noticeably longer, coaxing the world out of hibernation. This is the perfect time to simply observe. So, let's begin with a friendly walkthrough of your garden space. The most important tool you have this month is your attention. There's no rush, just a good, steady rhythm of reconnecting with your land. Have a look around. The first signs of life are emerging. See how the bulbs are nudging their green tips up through the cold, damp earth. They are the garden's vanguard, a testament to the life that persisted all winter long. Crocuses and snowdrops are your early signals, painting the ground in strokes of purple, yellow, and white. These aren't just flowers, they're beacons of hope, confirming that the cycle is beginning anew. Look closer at the branches of your trees and shrubs. Notice the buds, some fuzzy, some sleek, all packed with the promise of leaves and blossoms. Each one is a tiny, perfectly protected package of future growth. This initial tour isn't about doing, it's about seeing. It's about reconnecting with your space after a season apart. Where does the morning light fall now? What sounds do you hear? The chirping of returning birds, the drip of melting snow. As you walk, notice the warm spots where the snow melts first. These are your garden's natural hotspots. Also, take note of any areas that remain frozen or are waterlogged from the thaw. Jot these microclimate notes down. Is there a south-facing wall that radiates heat? A low spot where cold air and water pool? This information is gold, and it will inform every decision you make, from where to plant your tender annuals to where a hardy shrub will thrive. Now, a crucial reminder. Zone 5. March is famously unpredictable. It's a month of two minds, a meteorological tug-of-war. One day can feel like a perfect day in May, tempting you to start digging and planting. The next day, you can wake up to a sudden snow squall that blankets everything in white once more. This is why you must keep a close eye on the forecast. Don't be fooled by a single warm spell. That beautiful sunny afternoon is an invitation to plan and prepare, not necessarily to plant. The ground holds the real truth. Even if the surface has thawed, the soil may still be frozen solid just a few inches down. Trying to work it now by digging or tilling does more harm than good. It compacts the soil, destroying its delicate structure, which is essential for water drainage and root growth. So, the golden rule for March is patience. Let the earth wake up on its own schedule. Our job is not to force it, but to facilitate its awakening. We work with the weather, not against it, taking our cues from the sun, the soil, and the sky. By following this mindful approach, we can move forward one deliberate step at a time, ensuring a garden that is resilient, healthy, and a true joy to be in. Let's begin with a gentle cleanup. Clear leaves, twigs, and winter bits, carefully. Watch for brave bulb tips and perennial crowns under mats of leaves. Let light and air reach the soil surface. Wait till the lawn isn't saturated to avoid compaction. A gentle rake helps prevent snow mold. Sweep, spot hazards, and reset loose stones. Safety first. Don't bin leaves, shred dry ones for perfect compost browns. If wet and matted, mix with greens to balance, or make a leaf mold heap, black gold in a year or two. Your plants will love it. Let's start with a good, clean prune. Your first priority is always the 3 Ds: dead, damaged, and diseased wood. Look for branches that are snapped, brittle, or show signs of cankers or decay. Removing this material isn't just for looks, it's crucial for the plant's health, preventing diseases from taking hold and spreading. When you find a problem branch, trace it back to a healthy, outward-facing bud or to the main stem. Make your cut clean and angled, which helps water run off and promotes faster healing. Also, keep an eye out for branches that cross and rub against each other. That friction creates wounds, which are open invitations for pests and disease. To avoid spreading problems, always use sharp, clean tools. A quick wipe of your blades with rubbing alcohol or a disinfectant wipe between plants is a simple but vital step. This small habit can save you a lot of trouble down the road. By thinning out the center of your shrubs, you'll dramatically improve airflow, which helps prevent fungal issues like powdery mildew. This also allows sunlight to penetrate deeper, encouraging fuller growth and directing the plant's energy toward producing healthy new shoots and abundant flowers. Now is the perfect time to be bold with shrubs that bloom on new wood. Most summer bloomers can be pruned hard. Think of your panicle hydrangeas, potentilla, and spirea. They'll thank you for it with vigorous growth and a spectacular floral display later in the season. But hold off on your spring bloomers. Plants like forsythia, lilac, and weigela have already set their flower buds for this year's show. If you prune them now, you'll be cutting off all those beautiful blossoms. The rule is simple. Wait to prune these until right after they've finished flowering. Next, turn your attention to perennials. It's time to cut down the old, spent stems from last year. Grasses, echinacea, and rudbeckia can all be trimmed down to just a few inches from the ground. This cleanup makes way for fresh new shoots. Be gentle and mind the plant's crown, the base where new growth emerges, as you clear debris and step through the garden beds. If the soil is thawed and workable, it's an ideal moment to tackle any overgrown perennial clumps. Dividing plants like hostas, daylilies, or iris every few years reinvigorates them and controls their size. Simply lift the clump and use a sharp spade or garden knife to split it into smaller sections. Make sure each new piece has a healthy portion of roots and shoots. You can replant them to fill gaps in your garden or share the spares with friends. It's a brilliant way to multiply your plants for free, and best done now before the rapid growth of spring truly kicks in. As the last of the snow melts away and the ground begins to thaw, the urge to get our hands in the dirt is almost irresistible. But before we jump into planting, the most crucial first step is to check if our soil is actually ready to be worked. This is a moment where a little patience goes a very long way. The best way to test this is with a simple squeeze test. Grab a handful of soil from a few inches below the surface. If it forms a dense, muddy ball when you squeeze it, the soil is still too wet. Put the tools down and wait a few more sunny days. If it's moist but crumbles apart easily, you're good to go. Working wet soil is one of the worst things you can do for your garden's long-term health. It compacts the soil, squeezing out the essential air pockets that plant roots and beneficial microorganisms need to breathe. This creates a dense, brick-like layer that can stunt growth for the entire season. Patience now truly saves you from major headaches later. Once the soil is ready, gently loosen the surface. We want to avoid any heavy, deep digging or tilling, which destroys the delicate soil structure and the fungal networks within it. A light pass with a garden fork or even just a rake is perfect for waking up the top few inches. While you're there, nab any small weeds that have popped up. Early spring weeds have shallow roots and are incredibly easy to remove now. Getting them early prevents them from setting seed and creating a much bigger problem down the line. Your future self will definitely thank you for this. Now for the best part, feeding the soil. Top dress your beds with 1 to 2 inches of well-rotted compost, aged manure, or leaf mold. This isn't just fertilizer, it's a powerful soil conditioner that improves drainage, water retention, and provides a slow-release feast for your plants. There's no need to dig this in. Simply lay it on top, and let the real garden heroes, the earthworms and microbes, do the work of pulling it down into the soil, building incredible structure and fertility as they go. Finally, consider adding a very thin mulch of shredded leaves or fine bark chips. This light layer helps retain moisture and suppress the first flush of weeds. But hold off on any heavy mulch for now. A thick blanket can act like an insulator, keeping the soil too cool and damp in the unpredictable weather of March. With your beds prepped and fed, the stage is officially set for a fantastic spring planting season. Start with a simple plan. What do you actually love to eat? Rotate crops. Don't put tomatoes with potatoes in the same spot yearly. Seeds start indoors now for long season veg. Think tomatoes, peppers, aubergines. Give them a head start. Use a bright window or grow lights to prevent leggy seedlings. Keep mix moist, not soggy. Gentle misting works a treat. If soil's workable late March, direct sow cold hardy winners. Spinach, radishes, rocket, hardy lettuces, and peas with a trellis. Early greens taste like spring itself. Small sowings now, big smiles soon. Early bulbs, crocuses, snowdrops, daffs, bring that first pop of color. Let foliage die back naturally. Those leaves recharge next year's blooms. Inspect stored tubers, keep firm ones, lightly mist if shriveling. Pot dahlias now for earlier summer flowers. Plant bare root roses, fruit trees and shrubs while dormant, spread roots, set depth, water in well. End of March, sprinkle hardy annuals for a cottagey summer display. Inventory your tools, clean, sharpen and oil. Sharp tools equal cleaner cuts and easier digging. Repair loose posts and panels now, before climbers take off. A fresh coat protects wood and looks brilliant. Guard young trees from sunscald and critter, nibbling with wraps and trunk guards. Wash pots with hot soapy water. Start clean to stay healthy. Plant early nectar, hang a bird box, add a bee hotel. Small steps, big ecosystem wins. Set a water butt, fix leaky hoses, and handpick slugs on damp evenings to stay chemical-free. Cleaning, pruning, feeding the soil and starting seeds. March sets the foundation. Tells us what you think in the comments and like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to the Great North Gardener. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the unique challenges of northern gardening, you're in the right place. Our mission is to provide clear, straightforward help for starting and creating a beautiful, productive garden right in your own home, specifically tailored for our shorter growing seasons. This is your essential how-to guide for April in Zone 5, Canada. We'll cover which flowering and veggie types to focus on right now, the crucial task of leaf mulching, and how to properly prepare your garden beds for the unpredictable spring weather ahead. Getting these early steps right is the key to success. April has finally arrived in Zone 5, and after a long cold winter, it feels absolutely brilliant. There's a palpable sense of renewal in the air, a promise of the vibrant life to come. The snow has, for the most part, melted away, revealing the dark, rich earth beneath. The familiar sound of birds singing their cheerful tunes has returned, a welcome soundtrack to our garden preparations. You can almost feel the ground waking from its long winter slumber, warming with each day of sunshine. All of that careful winter planning, the seed catalogues, the sketches, the dreams, now starts to become a tangible reality. But remember, April isn't a month for rushing. The soil is still cold and often very wet. Steady, thoughtful work always wins the day. The effort you put in now truly sets the foundation for the entire season ahead. By tackling the right tasks at the right time, you're ensuring healthier plants, bigger harvests, and more beautiful, abundant blooms later in the summer. We'll learn to work with the fickle spring weather, not against it, using simple techniques to protect our young plants from late frosts. So, put the kettle on, grab your notepad, and let's dive in. Our approach is to keep it simple, clear, and most importantly, enjoyable. Let's get your garden off to the best possible start. As the days lengthen and the first hints of warmth return, the garden calls us back outside. The very first job, and perhaps the most satisfying of the entire year, is the great spring cleanup. It's a ritual of renewal, a chance to sweep away the remnants of winter and prepare the ground for the vibrant growth to come. This initial effort sets the stage for a healthy and beautiful garden, making all subsequent tasks that much easier and more rewarding. Before you grab a single tool, take a gentle walk around your space. This is a moment for observation, not action. Look closely at every corner. What has survived the winter? Where are the first signs of new life? It's a good idea to bring a notepad or your phone to jot down ideas or tasks for later. Reacquaint yourself with the landscape. It's changed over the last few months. You'll quickly notice that winter leaves its mark. Debris collects everywhere, in your beds, across the lawn, and especially under shrubs and hedges. Look for thick blankets of matted leaves, small broken branches snapped by wind or snow, and the skeletal remains of last year's dried perennial stems. This detritus isn't just untidy. It can smother delicate new shoots struggling to reach the light. Gather it all up carefully. As you clear the ground, the garden will instantly look miles better, but the benefits are more than just cosmetic. This debris provides the perfect damp, dark shelter for pests like slugs and snails to hide and lay their eggs. It can also harbor fungal spores from diseases like black spot and powdery mildew, ready to infect new growth. A thorough cleanup is your first and best line of defense, but be mindful of where you step. Early spring soil is often saturated and soggy. Walking on it creates heavy traffic that compacts the soil structure, squeezing out the essential air pockets that roots need to breathe and grow. If you must walk on the beds, use a board or plank to distribute your weight. A simple test. Grab a handful of soil and squeeze. If water streams out, it's too wet. Wait a few dry days for it to drain. When clearing, your tools should be as gentle as your footsteps. Use a flexible leaf rake, not a stiff garden rake. Your goal is to free the crowns of emerging perennials like hostas and daylilies without bruising or nipping their tender new shoots. Work slowly, pulling debris away from the plants rather than scraping over the top of them. While the soil is soft and you're already down at ground level, it's the perfect time to tackle weeds. Pull the small, opportunistic ones now, dandelions, chickweed, bittercress, before their roots can establish a firm hold. Removing them now prevents them from competing with your garden plants for precious water and nutrients later on. For weeds that have already set seed, it's best to bin them or put them in a separate pile. Don't add them to your main compost unless you're certain your pile gets truly hot enough to destroy the seeds. With the debris cleared and the first weeds gone, you're left with a clean bed, a blank canvas, ready and waiting for the color and life of spring and summer. This is your reward, a garden poised for a fresh start. With beds tidy, the heart of your garden, the soil, comes first. Healthy soil equals healthy plants. A quick soil test shows pH and nutrients so you can tweak toward neutral. Top dress with compost, nature's superfood, improves structure, moisture, and microlife. Aim for about an inch, fork in lightly, or let earthworms draw it down. Those saved leaves are pure gold. Shred and use as mulch. Mulch suppresses weeds, saves water, moderates temperature, and feeds as it breaks down. But timing matters. Let April sun warm soil first. Lay the season's main layer once soil's warmed, end of April into early May. Easy win that pays all season. Keep it thin early, let life in the soil kick into gear. Simple steps. Test pH. Add an inch of compost, time that mulch. Job done. April is perfect for a quick tool tune-up. Clean first to prevent spreading soil-borne nasties. Remove rust with steel wool or a wire brush. Finish with a light oil wipe for protection. Sharpen spades, hoes, and pruners. Clean cuts, easier digging. Smooth, oiled handles are safer and comfy in hand. Tighten anything wobbly before it bites back. Hang them up dry, shed, or garage to make them last and save money. An hour now saves hours later across the season. Your future self says cheers, ready for action. Pruning feels daunting, but it's vital for health and shape. Prune summer flowers like potentilla and spirea now, they bloom on new growth. Cut to encourage vigor and bigger summer displays. Do not prune spring stars like forsythia, lilac, magnolia yet. They've set buds on old wood. Wait until after they flower. Roses. Perfect now. Remove the 3Ds. dead, damaged, diseased. Open the center and cut above an outward bud to reduce black spot. Perennials, clip old growth, mind those new crowns. Grasses, cut to a few inches so fresh blades can rock it up. Sharp, clean tools, always. Shape set for the season. Don't forget the lawn, it frames your flower and veg beds. Rake thoroughly to remove thatch, leaves and debris so air, water and nutrients reach roots. Moss? Improve compaction, drainage and pH. Fork in holes to ease compaction and help water move. Test pH. Add lime if soil's too acidic. For thin spots, scuff the soil. Add topsoil or compost, seed per rate, rake in, water lightly. Keep it consistently moist until germination. Hold off heavy feeding until growth is vigorous, late April into May. Early heavy feeding can fuel weeds. If you must, go light and slow release. You're setting up a lush summer carpet. Simple steps, big impact. April. The garden is waking up and that familiar buzz is in the air. After months of planning, it's finally time to get our hands dirty and sow some seeds. This is where the magic of the growing season truly begins. The first big decision is where to sow. Tender, long-season crops need a head start indoors, protected from the lingering chill. Meanwhile, hardier vegetables are tough enough to be sown straight into the garden soil. Your summer favorites, think juicy tomatoes, crisp peppers and glossy eggplants, need a good 6 to 8 weeks of indoor pampering before the last frost date. This protected start is crucial for them to mature and produce a bountiful harvest during our shorter northern summers. To gear up for indoor success, you'll need trays or small pots, and a quality sterile seed starting mix. This isn't the place for heavy garden soil, which can compact and harbor disease. Consistent warmth and good quality grow lights are non-negotiable for strong, stocky seedlings. For direct sowing, the soil is your guide. Wait until it's workable, crumbly and moist, but not a sticky, muddy mess. Squeezing a handful should tell you all you need to know. If it forms a dense, wet ball, give it a few more dry days. So what's on the perfect April direct sow list? Think cool weather champions: peas, spinach, lettuce, radishes, kale, and Swiss chard. These crops thrive in the cool, moist conditions of spring. Always follow the sowing depths on the seed packet. A good rule of thumb is to plant a seed twice as deep as it is wide. And don't forget to label your rows. It seems obvious now, but future you will thank you when you're trying to tell your carrots from your parsnips. If you were an early bird and started hardy seedlings like broccoli or cabbage back in March, April may be transplant time. But don't rush them from their cozy indoor home straight into the garden. You must harden them off. This process gradually acclimatizes them to outdoor conditions. Think of it as gentle training for the rigors of garden life. Don't go from indoor to garden in one jump. Harden them off gradually over 7 to 10 days. Start with an hour or two in a sheltered, shady spot. Each day, add a little more time and slowly introduce them to more direct sun and breeze. This toughens them up and prevents transplant shock. When direct sowing, check your soil temperatures. A simple soil thermometer is an invaluable tool. Peas and lettuce are happy to germinate around 10 degrees Celsius, but others, like beans or corn, need much warmer soil to sprout. If the soil is too cold and wet, seeds will simply sit there, dormant. This makes them vulnerable, risking rot or becoming a snack for critters. Patience is a virtue. Waiting for the right conditions actually speeds up germination in the long run. But when the timing is right and the soil is warm enough, it all pops. Seemingly overnight, your rows fill with tiny green shoots. It's pure magic. Zone 5. April's nemesis is late frost. Don't let it break your heart. Watch the forecast daily. Clear, still nights drop fastest. Have covers ready. Old sheets, blankets, towels, even big boxes. Make a tent that traps ground heat. Cover down to soil, use stakes or chairs to keep fabric off leaves. Floating row covers work brilliantly. Lay on or hoop for rows of seedlings. Pop cloches over single plants. On at dusk, off at sunrise. Remove early. Sun under covers can cook plants faster than frost can nip them. Water ahead of frost. Moist soil stores and releases more heat. Be a frost fighter, win spring. What to plant this month? Let's make it easy. Go tough and cheerful. Pansies and violas handle light frosts and give instant color. Direct sow sweet peas early for fragrant summer climbers. Peas, sow early for best yields before summer heat. Load up on leafy greens, fast, tasty and perfect for April. Radishes give instant gratification, sow carrots and beets too. Stagger, sow every fortnight for a steady harvest. Divide overgrown perennials, revitalize and get free plants. Avoid waterlogged soil. Plant new bare root or potted perennials now. Last chance to start heat lovers and annual flowers indoors for big late spring transplants. Plant out, after all, frost risk is gone. April's also for planning while beds are bare and your layout is clear. Rotate crops, don't put tomatoes or brassicas in the same spot yearly. Build a timeline around your last frost for sowing and transplanting. Break tasks into weekly wins, no missed windows. Install supports early, let plants climb naturally, no midsummer wrestling. Fix winter wear now while access is easy. Keep a simple journal. Record what you planted, when, weather notes, germination, first harvests. Next April, your own notes are gold. What worked, what didn't, what to change. A little April effort equals a more successful, less stressful, glorious summer garden. I'm Albert. Thanks for spending time in the garden with me today. Tells us what you think in the comments and like and subscribe. Hello and a very warm welcome to the Great North Gardener. If you've ever dreamt of creating a beautiful, thriving garden right here in our unique northern climate, you've come to the right place. This channel is all about providing simple, practical help for starting and nurturing a garden you can be truly proud of, whether you have a sprawling backyard or just a few pots on a balcony. In this comprehensive guide, we're diving deep into the essentials for a successful May. We'll explore a wonderful variety of flowers and vegetables that are perfectly suited for our Zone 5 conditions. We'll also cover the crucial technique of leaf mulching to enrich your soil and how to properly prepare your entire garden for the dynamic and sometimes unpredictable spring weather ahead. May is such an exciting month for us gardeners here in Zone 5 Canada. It's a time of incredible transformation and potential. The sun feels a bit warmer on our faces, doesn't it? The birds are singing their little hearts out, providing the most brilliant soundtrack to our work. You can almost feel the energy in the air as the whole world seems to be waking up from a long winter nap. This guide is here to help you tackle all the important jobs for May. We'll focus on preparing your soil, choosing the right flowers and veggies, mastering leaf mulching, and ensuring you're ready for whatever the spring weather throws at us. It's a busy time, but I promise you it's so rewarding. I'm Albert, and I'll be your friendly guide through it all. Think of me as a mate with simple, straightforward advice, here to help you get the best out of your garden without any fuss. So, go on, grab your gloves and a nice cup of tea, and let's plan our May garden adventure together. There's plenty to do, and I'm chuffed to have you along for the journey. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the soil. Your soil is the foundation of your entire garden, the literal groundwork for everything you hope to grow. Think of it as a living ecosystem, a bustling underground city that provides your plants with water, air, and all the nutrients they need to thrive. Getting this part right at the start of the season will save you countless headaches later on and set you up for a truly spectacular display. Before you even think about digging, you need to check if your soil is ready to be worked. The best way is the simple squeeze test. Just grab a handful and give it a gentle squeeze in your palm. If it forms a sticky, muddy ball and water seeps out, it's still far too wet. Working waterlogged soil is a cardinal sin in gardening. It squeezes out all the air and compacts the structure, which can take years to recover. If this is what you have, be patient. Wait a few more sunny days for it to dry out. What you're after is soil that holds its shape for a moment but then crumbles apart nicely in your hand when you poke it, a bit like a good chocolate cake. This tells you it has the perfect balance of moisture and air. On the other hand, if it's rock hard and dusty, it's too dry. Trying to dig into concrete-like soil is back-breaking work. The simple solution is to water the area thoroughly the day before you plan to work it. This makes digging much easier and helps the soil accept the goodness you're about to add. Once the moisture level is just right, it's time to give your soil a hearty breakfast. The best meal you can offer is a generous helping of organic matter, like garden compost and well-rotted manure. Compost improves soil structure, while manure provides a fantastic boost of nitrogen. You don't need to go overboard. Simply spread a layer of about 2 to 4 centimeters over the top of your beds. Then, use a garden fork or a rake to gently mix it into the top few centimeters of the soil. There's no need for heavy, deep digging, which can disturb the beneficial worms and microorganisms living below. This layer of organic matter acts as a slow-release fertilizer, feeding your plants all season long. And it also works like a sponge, helping the soil hold onto moisture during dry spells. While you're at it, give the beds a light tidy up. Gently rake away any thick matted leaves from last autumn, pick up twigs, and remove any other debris. This allows crucial light and air to reach the soil surface, warming it up and encouraging new shoots to emerge. But don't be too tidy. A bit of leaf litter provides a vital habitat for friendly insects like ground beetles and ladybugs, which are your best allies in the fight against pests. May is also a fantastic time for shaping new beds or extending existing ones. An easy way to visualize the shape is to lay out a garden hose or a piece of string on the ground. Play around with it until you're happy with the curves and lines. Once you've settled on a design, use a spade to cut the edge, remove the turf, then loosen the soil beneath with a fork, and mix in plenty of that lovely compost to get it started. Let the new bed settle for a week or so before planting. It's a bit of hard work now, but it's so satisfying to stand back and see a brand new space take shape, full of promise for the season ahead. Welcome back. For those of us gardening in Zone 5, the start of May is a truly exciting time. The soil is warming up, but the air still has a refreshing coolness, creating the perfect conditions for cool season crops that don't mind a bit of a chill. These are the vegetables that thrive in the gentle warmth of spring, long before the intense heat of summer arrives. Think of crisp peas, tender lettuce, and vibrant spinach. Don't forget the peppery crunch of radishes, the sweet earthiness of carrots, and the rich flavor of beets. These can all be sown directly into your prepared garden beds right now. Before you plant, make sure your soil is loose and free of weeds to give your seeds the best possible start. Always read the seed packet for specific instructions on depth and spacing. This isn't just a guideline, it's crucial for preventing overcrowding, which forces plants to compete for sunlight, water, and nutrients. Simply draw a shallow line or furrow, drop your seeds in, cover them gently with soil, and you're on your way to growing your own food. And for a splash of quick, reliable color, you can't go wrong with hardy annuals. Cheerful pansies, delicate violas, and towering snapdragons are tough little plants that can handle a light, unexpected frost, ensuring your garden looks vibrant from the get-go. It's also the ideal time to plant new perennials. Planting them now gives their root systems the entire growing season to establish themselves before winter. Just be sure to choose varieties that are hardy for Zone 5, so they'll return year after year. Now, if you've started seeds indoors for warm season crops like tomatoes or peppers, resist the temptation to rush them outside. They've been living in a sheltered, stable environment and need a gradual introduction to the great outdoors. You need to harden them off. This process acclimatizes them to outdoor conditions. Start with just an hour or two in a sheltered, shady spot, away from harsh wind. Then, gradually increase their time outside each day over the course of a week to 10 days. This vital step toughens their stems against the wind, helps their leaves adjust to direct sun, and prepares them for cooler nights. Skipping this can lead to shock, stunting their growth or even killing them. It's a bit of effort that pays off with strong, healthy transplants. When they're ready, choose an overcast day or the late afternoon to transplant. This minimizes stress and reduces the chance of wilting from intense sun. Dig a hole that's a bit bigger than the pot, and carefully tease the roots if they're tightly bound. Gently remove the plant, set it in the hole at the same depth it was in its pot, fill the soil back in, and press lightly to remove air pockets. Finally, give them a deep drink of water right at the base. This helps the roots settle in and make good contact with their new soil home. Now your little plant babies are ready to thrive. Take a moment to enjoy that. It's a truly lovely feeling, knowing you've given them the best possible start. Let's talk about giving your plants a little haircut. Pruning. Prune spring-flowering shrubs right after bloom, forsythia, lilac, so you don't cut off next year's flowers. Cut some older, thicker branches to encourage fresh growth. Always remove branches that are dead, damaged, or crossing. Deadhead. Snip spent flowers, so energy goes into more blooms, from bulbs now to annuals later. Use sharp, clean pruners. Wipe blades with a bit of rubbing alcohol to prevent spreading disease. Carefully remove old brown stems so tender new shoots get light and air. Take your time and enjoy the calm. Mulch with shredded autumn leaves, 5 to 7 centimeters. Keeps soil cool and moist, suppresses weeds and feeds the soil. Keep mulch off stems, make a donut, not a volcano, to avoid rot and keep things tidy. Weather swings in May. Check moisture by finger 5 centimeters down. If dry, water. Give deep soaks every few days, not daily sprinkles. Water in the morning to reduce disease. Compost is your base. Heavy feeders like many veg and annuals appreciate a balanced liquid fertilizer. Read and dilute correctly. Feed every 2 to 4 weeks in May and June. Think of it like a vitamin boost. Strong roots, lush leaves, better blooms. The simple essentials set you up for summer success. Give the lawn a rake to remove thatch and old leaves so air and water reach the roots. First mow with blades higher. Longer grass builds deeper, stronger roots for summer. Loosen bare spots, seed generously, rake lightly, and keep moist until tiny green shoots appear. Install supports early for climbers and tall flowers, peas, delphiniums, peonies, before roots get disturbed. Use soft ties or green twine and tie loosely to protect stems and survive windy days. Keep compost humming. Add greens like kitchen scraps and grass, browns like dry leaves and twigs. Alternate layers and turn every couple of weeks. Air plus balance equals rich, dark compost, garden gold for future beds. Every couple of days, inspect plants, tops, undersides and stems, looking for holes, spots, or tiny insects. Common culprits, aphids and slugs or snails with silvery trails. Early catch, easy fix. Knock aphids off with a firm water spray. If needed, a few drops of washing up liquid in water. For slugs, hand pick at dusk with a torch, or sink a yogurt pot and add beer as a trap. Zone 5 can frost right to month end. Tender plants like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers are at risk. Watch the forecast. If frost is coming, cover plants with bed sheets, blankets or horticultural fleece before evening. Let covers reach the ground to trap warmth and use stakes or chairs to keep fabric off foliage. Uncover at sunrise, prevent overheating and give plants the light they need. A little effort saves seedlings. Pots dry faster than beds, especially on warm, windy days. Check them daily. If it's dry an inch or two down, water thoroughly until it runs from the drainage holes. Use quality potting mix, not garden soil. Mix in a bit of compost and add a thin bark mulch to save moisture. Plant parsley, chives and cilantro now. Grate near the kitchen door for easy snips. Wait for basil until soil warms and frost danger passes, often late May to early June here. For fast, cheerful blooms, sow pansies, violas, calendula and nasturtiums, easy fillers for empty spots. A whirlwind tour of May chores in Zone 5. Take it one step at a time and enjoy the process. Observe, learn, and try again. Keep a simple journal. Future you will thank you. By June, cool season veg are thriving, hardy flowers bloom, and tender plants are ready. Your prep pays off all summer. My name is Albert. I hope this gave you confidence to start your May chores. Tells us what you think in the comments, and like and subscribe. Hello, and welcome to the Great North Gardener. If you've ever dreamed of creating a beautiful and productive garden for your home but weren't sure where to begin, you've come to the right place. Here, we provide straightforward, practical help for every step of your gardening journey. This video is your comprehensive how-to guide, specifically tailored for gardening in Zone 5 Canada. We'll explore the very best annuals, biennials, perennials, and vegetables that thrive in our unique climate. More importantly, we'll show you exactly how to prepare for a successful season. Right then, let's get stuck in. June in Zone 5 is an absolutely brilliant, transformative time to be out in the garden. All the planning and patience of the cooler months finally pays off as the landscape bursts into life. The weather is finally, reliably on our side. The last of the pesky plant-damaging frosts are hopefully behind us for good, allowing our tender plants to breathe a collective sigh of relief. The soil itself is warming up nicely, creating the perfect cozy bed for roots to spread out and establish themselves. And of course, the days are getting noticeably longer and sunnier, bathing our gardens in light from early morning until late evening. It's the perfect recipe for strong, healthy, and happy plants. This guide is all about making the most of this truly magic month. We're going to break down everything you need to know to set your garden up for a season of abundance. We'll chat about the best annuals for instant color, biennials to plan for next year, perennials that form the backbone of your garden, and of course, delicious vegetables for your table. We'll also cover exactly how to get your garden beds ready for a fantastic growing season, from amending the soil to planning your layout. This is your moment. June is when the garden truly comes alive, shifting from the quiet potential of spring to the vibrant energy of summer. With the risk of a surprise frost having mostly passed, a whole new world of planting opportunities opens up. You can now confidently sow seeds directly into the soil and move your young, hardened-off plants outdoors into their final spots in beds and containers. The long days give your plants loads of sunlight, fueling the photosynthesis they need for vigorous growth. It's a busy month, there's no doubt about it, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Think of it as the grand opening of your summer garden, and you're the master of ceremonies. So, roll up your sleeves, it's time to get your hands dirty. But first, a crucial reminder: always be mindful of your specific local last frost date. In Zone 5 this can vary quite a bit, usually falling somewhere between late May and mid-June. Know your microclimate. If an unexpected late frost warning does appear in the forecast, don't panic. Simply use a floating row cover, or even an old bedsheet propped up on stakes, to protect your tender plants overnight. A little bit of caution now pays off with huge rewards later. Big wins for June are coming right up. In the next sections we'll dive into preparing your beds, choosing the right plants, and essential care tips to ensure a summer full of color and flavor. Alright, let's talk about the foundation of any great garden, the soil. Getting this right before you plant is the single most important step for a successful season. Think of it as building a strong home for your plants. First, give your beds a thorough tidy up. Pull out every weed, making sure to get the roots. Remove any stones, sticks, and old plant debris from last season. A clean slate prevents competition for nutrients and water, so a little effort here makes a huge difference later on. Now for the good stuff. Spread a generous layer of 2 to 4 inches of well-rotted compost over the entire bed. Then, gently work it into the top 6 to 8 inches of your existing soil with a garden fork or tiller. This enriches the soil with vital nutrients and improves its structure. Let's do a quick drainage test. Dig a small hole about a foot deep, fill it with water, and let it drain completely. Then, fill it again and time how long it takes for the water to disappear. If it's gone in a few hours, your drainage is great. If it lingers for more than 6 to 8 hours, your soil is likely heavy clay. In that case, work in more organic matter like compost, or consider building raised beds to give your plant roots the oxygen they need. Finally, rake the surface to create a lovely, level bed. You're aiming for a fine, crumbly texture, like breadcrumbs. This ensures that when you sow seeds, they all sit at a consistent depth for even germination. Next up, the most important factor for growth: sunlight. Before you plant anything, spend a day observing your garden. Note which areas get sun in the morning, at midday, and in the afternoon. Full sun means at least 6 to 8 hours of direct, unfiltered light daily. This is non-negotiable for most vegetables and flowering annuals. Reserve your sunniest, most prized real estate for the true sun worshippers. That means plants like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, and vibrant flowers like zinnias and cosmos. They need that intense energy to produce abundant fruit and blooms. Don't discount your less sunny spots. Part shade areas, those that get about 4 to 6 hours of sun, preferably gentle morning sun, are perfect for delicate leafy greens like lettuce and spinach, as well as many herbs like parsley and mint. The afternoon shade will protect them from scorching. Now, let's think about layout. A pro tip is to plant your tallest crops, like sunflowers, corn, or pole beans on a trellis, along the north side of your garden bed. This way, they won't cast a shadow over their shorter neighbors as the sun moves across the sky. You can even use this principle to your advantage. Let taller, sun-loving plants like tomatoes strategically create some welcome afternoon shade for heat-sensitive crops like lettuce, extending their growing season into the warmer months. If your garden is in a windy, exposed location, constant wind can dry out and stress your plants. Consider adding a small trellis with screening, a decorative fence, or even a row of sturdy shrubs to act as a windbreak and create a calmer microclimate. And don't forget access. Plan your paths so you can easily reach every part of your garden for weeding, watering, and harvesting, without ever stepping on the beds. This prevents soil compaction, which is the enemy of healthy roots. Aim for beds no wider than 4 feet. With your beds prepped, it's prime time for planting heat lovers like tomatoes and peppers. For tomatoes, use sturdy cages or stakes and plant them deep, burying the bottom sets of leaves to encourage a stronger root system. For some quick wins, sow fast-growing crops like lettuce and radishes directly into the soil. For root vegetables like carrots, ensure the soil is loose and free of stones. Thin the seedlings once they sprout to give each carrot enough room to develop properly. For beans, you have choices. Bush beans are compact and great for planting in neat rows, while pole beans will climb any support you give them and produce beans for a much longer season. I always recommend growing vining plants like cucumbers and summer squash vertically up a trellis. This not only saves precious garden space but also improves airflow, which reduces disease and keeps the fruit off the ground and away from pests. Don't forget the herbs. Tuck in basil, dill, parsley, and cilantro throughout your beds. Basil especially loves the sun and is a classic companion for tomatoes, both in the garden and in the kitchen. Annual flowers give you instant, long-lasting color and can even help your veggies. Marigolds are famous for deterring pests when planted near vegetables. Zinnias and cosmos are effortlessly beautiful, attract pollinators, and are fantastic as cut flowers for bouquets. For containers, petunias are a classic choice, spilling beautifully from baskets and pots. Just remember to keep them well watered, and they'll reward you with a cascade of blooms all summer long. And for a flower that works extra hard, plant nasturtiums. They actually thrive in poor soil, and both their leaves and flowers are edible. They have a wonderful peppery taste that's perfect for salads. Sow the seeds directly in June, while annuals provide the flash. Perennials like daylilies and hostas build the long-term structure of your garden. Planting them in June gives them plenty of time to establish strong roots before winter. You can also find beautiful phlox and potted peonies at the garden center now. Finally, consider lavender. It adores full sun and demands sharp drainage. If you have heavy clay soil, it's best to plant lavender in pots with a gritty mix or in the amended soil of a raised bed to ensure it thrives. Now for the fun part, planting. Starting from seed is a fantastic way to save money and access a wider variety of plants. For vegetables with sensitive taproots, direct sowing into the garden bed is the only way to go. Think carrots, radishes, beans, and peas. They really dislike having their roots disturbed, so planting them where they'll grow ensures a happy, healthy start. On the other hand, for crops with a long growing season, like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant, using transplants is a smart move. Our short Zone 5 summers mean these heat lovers need a head start to produce a bountiful harvest before the first frost. If you've raised your own seedlings indoors, you must harden them off before planting. This crucial step acclimates them to the outdoors, preventing shock and sunburn. Start by placing them in a sheltered, shady spot for just an hour or two. Over the course of a week to 10 days, gradually increase their time outside and slowly introduce them to more direct sunlight. Whether you're using seeds or transplants, always check the packet or plant tag for specific instructions on planting depth, spacing, and sun requirements. It's your roadmap to success. When you first plant everything, the bed might look a bit sparse, but resist the urge to crowd them. Proper spacing is vital. It gives each plant the room it needs to grow to its full potential and ensures good air circulation, which is your best defense against fungal diseases. Let's talk water. The key is to water deeply and less often, encouraging roots to grow down into the soil. Always water at the base of the plant, not over the leaves. In a typical June, a good, thorough soaking once or twice a week is a great starting point. The best time to water is in the early morning. This gives the plant all day to absorb the moisture and allows any stray splashes on the leaves to dry quickly in the sun, further reducing the risk of disease. But don't just stick to a schedule. Let your garden tell you when it's thirsty. The classic finger test never fails. If the soil is dry 2 inches down, it's time to water. To make your watering efforts last, add a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch. Shredded bark is long-lasting, straw is excellent for keeping soil cool, and untreated grass clippings are a free source of nitrogen. Mulch is a gardener's best friend. It conserves moisture, cools the soil, and dramatically suppresses weeds. If you amended your beds with plenty of rich compost in the spring, you've already provided a fantastic foundation of nutrients. Many plants may not need much extra fertilizer. However, some crops are particularly hungry. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and zucchini are known as heavy feeders and will appreciate a boost. For these plants, use a balanced liquid feed about once a month. Always follow the label instructions carefully. It's tempting to give them more, but overdoing it can lead to lush, green leaves with very few fruits. A healthy garden is one you visit often. Make it a habit to stroll through your garden every few days. Look under leaves, check the stems, and get to know your plants. This is how you'll catch any potential pest or disease issues early, when they're easiest to manage. For larger pests like slugs and tomato hornworms, the most effective control is simply picking them off by hand and dropping them into a bucket of soapy water. For smaller pests like aphids, a sharp spray from the hose can be enough to dislodge them. If they return, a mild soap solution applied to new growth can help manage the population without harming your plants. Prevention is even better. Use floating row covers as a physical barrier to block pests like cabbage moths from laying eggs on your brassicas. And embrace companion planting. Flowers like marigolds and cosmos, and herbs like basil and rosemary can attract beneficial insects that prey on pests. Good spacing and watering the soil, not the leaves, are your primary defenses against common fungal issues like powdery mildew, which looks like a white dusty coating, and early blight on tomatoes, which presents as yellow spots with brown centers. If you do spot diseased foliage, act quickly. Snip it off with clean pruners and dispose of it in the trash, not your compost pile, to prevent it from spreading. Finally, the reward. Harvesting regularly is key. Picking vegetables at their peak not only gives you the best flavor and texture, but it also sends a signal to the plant to keep producing more. For cut-and-come-again crops like lettuce and kale, harvest the outer leaves and allow the center of the plant to continue growing for a continuous supply. Pick pea and bean pods when they are full and crisp, before the seeds inside become tough and starchy. Harvest zucchini and summer squash when they're small and tender for the best texture and taste. And for tomatoes, wait until they are fully colored and feel slightly soft to the touch. Nothing compares to the taste of a truly vine-ripened tomato. Don't forget your herbs. Regularly pinching the tops of basil and parsley will encourage them to become bushier and more productive. If you're feeling overwhelmed, remember to start small. Even one potted tomato, a small patch of lettuce, a container of quick-growing radishes, and a pot of fresh basil can bring so much joy and flavor to your summer. Gardening is a journey of learning. Keep a simple journal to track what worked and what didn't. Most importantly, celebrate your successes, learn from the challenges, and enjoy the simple pleasure of watching life grow. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Great North Gardener. If you're looking for a little help and inspiration to start, or indeed, to continue creating a beautiful and productive garden for your home, you've come to the right place. I'm Albert, and it's a real pleasure to have you here with me today. There's nothing I enjoy more than sharing the journey of a garden as it moves through the seasons, and July in a Zone 5 garden is a truly brilliant time. All the hard work of spring is paying off in spectacular fashion, The sun is high in the sky, the days are long and wonderfully warm, and the garden is absolutely buzzing with life. You can almost feel the energy, can't you? From the hum of pollinators to the rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze, it's a full sensory experience. Now, it's easy to look at this abundance and think that the main planting season is behind us, that the die is cast for the year. But I'm here to tell you that there's still a massive amount of potential packed into this glorious month. In fact, I like to think of July as our second spring. It's a golden window of opportunity. So, in this guide, we're going to explore exactly what to do with that opportunity. We'll cover the best annuals for a late flush of colour, biennials and perennials to get a head start on for next year, and of course, a fantastic range of vegetables you can still plant now for an autumn harvest here in Canada. Zone 5. I'll also show you some simple but crucial steps to get your garden beds ready for this next wave of planting, ensuring you have plenty of delicious produce and beautiful flowers to enjoy right through to the first frosts of autumn. It's all about extending the season and maximizing our reward for the effort we put in. Gardening in Zone 5 means we have to be clever about our timing. It's the defining characteristic of growing in a colder climate. Those cold winters and a shorter growing season don't hold us back, not at all. They simply encourage us to be more strategic, more thoughtful in our approach. And July is the peak of that strategy. It's when we pivot from spring planting to succession sowing. A key reason for this is the soil. It has finally warmed up properly, holding that lovely, consistent warmth that so many plants crave. This is especially true for heat-loving vegetables, which have been patiently waiting for these perfect conditions to really take off. This deep soil warmth is like a starting pistol for seeds and young plants. It triggers rapid germination and encourages them to get growing quickly, which is exactly what we need to beat the clock before autumn arrives. So, whether you're looking at empty spaces in your veg patch after harvesting early crops, wanting to add a fresh burst of late summer color to your borders, or simply tending to the needs of your established spring-sown plants, this month is absolutely packed with opportunity. It's all about maintaining momentum and keeping the garden productive and beautiful. My goal is to make this guide straightforward and genuinely helpful, giving you the confidence to get out there and make the most of this pivotal month. This is especially true if you're a beginner or simply short on time. We'll break everything down into simple, manageable steps that you can put into practice right away. Right then, let's get started with some fantastic vegetables you can plant now. And please don't worry if you feel like you're behind. July is the perfect time for a fresh start and a second harvest. The vegetable patch in July is a place of real action, a bustling hub of growth and potential. It's the perfect time for some strategic sowing to ensure a continuous harvest through late summer and well into autumn. First on our list, beans. Whether you prefer compact bush beans or vertical pole beans, both are excellent choices for July sowing. Look for fast-maturing varieties like Provider for bush beans or Kentucky Wonder for pole beans to get a harvest in before the first frosts. Beans adore warm soil, so sow them straight into your garden beds. There's absolutely no need to fuss with starting them in indoor pots at this time of year. They'll germinate with surprising speed, often poking through the soil in just a week. To guarantee a steady supply, succession sow a small row every 2 to 3 weeks. This simple technique means you'll never be without tender, delicious beans for your summer salads and dinners. Just be sure to give them a spot with full sun and well-drained soil. Next up, cucumbers and squash. There's still plenty of time to plant sturdy seedlings. When you do, give them ample space and train vining types upwards on a trellis. This not only saves precious garden space but also dramatically improves airflow, which is key to healthy plants. Always water at the base of the plant. Wet leaves are an open invitation for powdery mildew, a common problem you'll want to avoid. Pick the fruits as soon as they're ready. This encourages the plant to keep producing, maximizing your yield. In many Zone 5 areas, you can still plant tomatoes and peppers in early July, especially quick-maturing varieties. It's crucial to support them with sturdy stakes or cages right from the start to handle the weight of the fruit. Feed them monthly with a balanced fertilizer, and as the plants grow, remove the lowest leaves. This simple pruning task improves air circulation around the base, further helping to prevent fungal diseases. Don't forget about autumn greens. Fast-growing brassicas like bok choy or broccoli raab can be sown now for a delicious fall harvest. They appreciate the cooling temperatures of late summer. For delicate lettuce and spinach, sow them in a spot that gets partial afternoon shade to prevent bolting in the summer heat. As they sprout, be sure to thin the seedlings to give each plant enough room to develop into a strong, healthy head. Plant now for hearty autumn and early winter meals: carrots, beets, turnips. Warm July soil gives them a head start for sweet, tender roots. A light frost often sweetens flavors. Perfect timing. The secret is beneath the surface. Roots need loose, friable soil to grow straight. Remove stones and hard clumps to prevent forking. Don't over-enrich. Overly rich soil can fork carrots. Create a fine tilth and keep moisture steady. No bone dry to soaking swings. Inconsistent water causes splitting, especially in carrots and radishes. Deep watering once or twice weekly drives roots down for healthier veg. Radishes are sprinters. Sow now, harvest in 3 to 4 weeks. Perfect for filling gaps. Keep soil loose and evenly moist. A July row of radishes is a quick win, adding peppery crunch to your salads in no time. Hardy greens, kale, Swiss chard, collards are Zone 5 champions. Sow seeds or plant seedlings in July for a bountiful fall harvest. A light frost makes kale sweeter and more tender. Many herbs love summer warmth. Basil and dill will surge if planted now. Sow in pots or beds. Cilantro bolts in heat, so give it afternoon shade. Harvest herbs often, parsley included, to keep plants bushy and productive. Mix a little compost into the topsoil. It boosts nutrients and moisture retention. In cooler parts of Zone 5, sow snap peas now for fall. Give them netting or a trellis. As temps dip, peas will mature beautifully. There's nothing like sweet, crunchy snap peas straight from the vine on a crisp autumn afternoon. A garden isn't just about food, it's beauty too. Start with zinnias. Cheerful, colourful, easy. Sow now in sun. They germinate quickly and bloom till frost. Endless bouquets and a feast for bees and butterflies. Cosmos bring airy movement. Sow direct in July. They flower best in lean soil and are fantastic for cutting. Marigolds are tough companions. Tuck them in borders or containers from seed or trays. They can deter certain pests, tolerate drought and bloom all season. For drama, sow sunflowers now. Give them full sun and stake taller types. Add nasturtiums for edible flowers and peppery leaves. They thrive on neglect. Even starting midsummer, these annuals deliver colour, pollinators and joy fast. The absolute foundation of any successful garden, whether it's vegetables or flowers, is the soil. None of it thrives without a healthy living medium to grow in. If you're serious, a soil test can tell you about pH and nutrient deficiencies, but the one universal rule is to always add organic matter. Think of it as the lifeblood of your garden. We're talking about well-rotted compost, leaf mold, or aged manure. This doesn't just provide a slow, steady release of nutrients. It fundamentally transforms the soil's structure. It helps clay soils drain better and sandy soils retain moisture, creating a perfect, crumbly texture that roots love. It also feeds the vast ecosystem of beneficial microbes and earthworms that do so much of the hard work for you. Before you plant, weed and clear old debris. A tidy bed isn't just for looks. It removes hiding spots for slugs and snails and eliminates overwintering sites for pest eggs and disease spores. It's your first line of defense. When it comes to watering, be smart. Water in the morning so foliage has time to dry before evening, which helps prevent fungal diseases. And always water deeply at the base of the plants. A light sprinkle just encourages shallow roots. Using drip lines or soaker hoses is a fantastic way to deliver water directly to the root zone and save a tremendous amount of water from evaporation. Mulch is your garden's protective blanket. A good 2 to 3 inch layer of straw, shredded leaves or wood chips keeps the soil cool during hot spells, dramatically suppresses weed growth and conserves precious moisture. As it breaks down, it adds even more organic matter back into the soil. Even with the best prep, pests will arrive. Patrol your garden at dusk or after a rain shower for slugs and snails. A simple hand-picking expedition can be surprisingly effective, especially if you're consistent. For smaller pests like aphids, start with the simplest method. A sharp blast of water from the hose can dislodge them. If they persist, then you can escalate to insecticidal soap or a neem oil solution. but always try the mechanical methods first. Disease prevention is all about airflow and hygiene. Give your plants enough space to grow, water the soil and not the leaves, and immediately remove any diseased foliage you spot. And whatever you do, don't compost it. Put it straight in the bin or burn it to prevent the spores from spreading throughout your garden. To ensure a continuous supply of fresh vegetables, practice succession planting. Sowing a small batch of quick-growing crops every 2 to 3 weeks means you'll have steady harvests all season long. This works brilliantly for beans, radishes, salad mixes, and baby spinach. On a larger scale, rotate your crop families each year. This simple practice breaks the life cycles of soil-borne pests and diseases and helps balance the nutrient demands on your soil. A smart gardener is always thinking a season ahead. Now is the perfect time to plant biennials like foxgloves, sweet william, and wallflowers. They'll establish their roots this year and reward you with a spectacular floral display next spring. If your perennials like hostas or daylilies are looking crowded and less vigorous, divide them. It rejuvenates the parent plant and gives you free new plants to expand your garden. Just be sure to water the new divisions well to help them get established. It's also a fine time to plant new container-grown perennials. Dig a hole twice as wide as the pot, gently tease out any circling roots to encourage outward growth, and keep them consistently moist for the first few weeks. When it's time to reap your rewards, harvest in the cool of the morning. This is when vegetables are at their most crisp, hydrated, and flavorful. For many crops like beans, courgettes, and cucumbers, the more you pick, the more they produce. Regular harvesting sends a signal to the plant to keep going. Don't let giant marrows sit on the plant, draining its energy. During intense summer heat waves, protect sensitive plants like lettuce and spinach with shade cloth. Grouping containers together also creates a more humid microclimate and makes watering more efficient. As the season winds down and the first hints of autumn appear, you can extend your harvest by protecting tender crops with floating row covers or horticultural fleece overnight. And perhaps the most powerful tool of all, keep a journal. Note down your sowing and transplanting dates, the varieties you planted, when pests appeared, and what worked well. This record is invaluable for planning next year's even better garden. July in Zone 5 is a month brimming with potential. It's a dynamic time for action, for planting and tending, and most importantly, for enjoying the fruits of your labor. Prepare your soil, water wisely, and use mulch. These are the pillars that set the stage for success. Stay vigilant, scout for pests, and keep staggering those sowings to maximize your harvest and enjoy fresh food for months to come. Happy gardening! We'd love to hear what you're growing this July, so tell us in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, please give us a like and subscribe for more gardening guides.